Hi, my name is Dr. Douillard, and welcome to LifeSpa.com, where we prove the ancient medical wisdom of Ayurveda with modern science. And today, it's springtime. It's kapha season. It's the season that we should be resetting the body's ability to burn fat, to lose weight. This is what should happen in the kapha season, but there's a risk in the kapha season for us to actually gain weight very easily. So while the springtime is the season of opportunity to lose all that winter weight, it's extremely easy to, in fact, gain a bunch of weight. And I want to explain why that happens and how we can mitigate that so we make sure that doesn't happen, because this is the window of time that we are designed to actually reset our ability to burn fat and reset our ability to use a different fuel supply, which is fat, versus carbohydrates that we use in the summer, particularly the end of the summer. So our fuel supply should shift. At the end of the summer, all the fruits and starches are harvested. We burn more carbohydrates in proportion to fats. In the springtime, during the period of famine, during the period of no food really being harvested, look out your window right now, you'll see not a lot being growing yet. There's just not a lot available, so we're forcing our body to burn our own stores of fat and therefore reset fat burning. And all the things that are harvested are extremely austere. That's why many cultures and religions that they're fasting at this time of the year. But why is it that we have the risk of gaining weight in the springtime when we're clearly supposed to lose it? Well, let's talk about some of the Ayurvedic principles for a second and get clear on them. Every season has a quality. In the spring, the quality is heavy, wet, rainy, muddy, congestive, holding on to water, gaining more weight, being more solid, structurally solid. The earth is holding on to more water. And in the springtime, so do we, right? Nature's response to that seasonal accumulation of kapha-like qualities is to give us a diet, a harvest that antidotes those qualities, like the harvest of the spring predominate in three primary tastes: pungent and bitter and astringent. Astringent are beans and cucumbers are astringent. Things that are very light in nature. Bitter leafy greens and bitter roots, burdock and dandelion and golden seal and turmeric and ginger. All of these are very bitter, and of course in the spring pungent, ginger also being pungent. So those are the tastes we want to predominate on to antidote the quality of that season. But what if we don't eat those qualities, those seasonal foods, the pungent, bitter, and astringent foods? And what if we continue to eat sort of the foods from winter, which are sweet, sour, and salt? Continue eating the pastas and the breads and the soups and the proteins and the fats, and we keep overshooting the calorie runway, we run the risk of gaining weight in spades, in excess, because the nature of kapha is to increase during the springtime. And if we allow that to happen, the earth does hold on to more water, and we will hold on to more water, and we will gain more weight in the springtime if we don't follow the circadian rules, the Ayurvedic rules of eating seasonal foods. And of course, I've spent a lot of time talking about that. You can download our free kapha springtime grocery list, which has all the kapha reducing foods that are naturally harvested in the spring to help antidote this effect of kapha wanting to accumulate. So it's a really interesting thing. We always just think, oh, kapha is a great time to lose weight. It's also a great time to gain weight, and you have to be careful. And most people think, well, some people, let me reset that. Some people really feel like they just don't crave anything else but salads. I had a patient who came to me a few years back, and she said, my depression is better, I feel more energetic, I've lost a ton of weight, everything's fantastic, except for I have no appetite. All I want to eat is salad. And I went through everything with her, looked at her history and checked at it, and I said, it's March, and you're craving exactly what you should be craving, which is a much more austere seasonal diet. And that's the piece of the puzzle that we oftentimes forget. That's a natural thing to do. But in a world where there's just lots of good stuff to eat, we can have a hard time moving into that direction, but that's the name of the game in the springtime. A couple of other things that are happening in the springtime. In the spring, and by the way, that season accumulation happens in every season as well. In the winter season, where it's Vata season, where the nervous system can get aggravated by excess Vata. If you don't eat the warming, cooling foods, that influence of Vata can be off the charts. In the summertime, if you don't eat seasonal cooling foods, by the end of summer, you can be way overheated and create real problems. And we'll talk about that next time around, next season around. But let's talk about what are the other things that make kapha sort of a weight gaining risk factor. And that is because the digestion of the winter is stronger than the digestion of the spring and the summer. The foods of winter are nuts and seeds and starches and heavier, more dense foods that took a whole summer to grow, and it takes a very strong digestive fire to break them down. We have science to back that up. The amylase enzyme for digesting hard to digest starches increases in the fall and the winter, decreases in the spring and the summer. The parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system increases in the colder climate months. But as it starts to get warmer in the spring, we lose that digestive strength. So the science is clear. We're just not going to digest all those holiday winter foods as well in the spring as we did in the winter, right? So then on top of the fact that we sort of like eating heavier foods because they sort of taste better, we don't want to eat less food, we also have less digestive strength. So if we do continue to eat the same food we ate in the winter, now you're going to gain weight on that food that you didn't gain weight on before. That makes sense, right? So what are some of the solutions? What are some of the ways to make sure that we get the benefit of spring? And it isn't about weight loss. I mean, I wrote an ebook called the Weight Balancing ebook, which was really an ebook called Weight Balancing because I'm not a big fan of everything being about weight loss. It's about balancing yourself and balancing your weight. And the rules were really simple. We did a study on this based on my 3-season diet book. We ended up with about 18 people who did this plan, and they ate 3 meals a day with no snacks. And we measured their weight loss, anxiety, depression, cravings, fatigue, and exhaustion after work, and sleep improvements every 2 weeks during the 2-month study. And after about a month, they were all significantly improved. Just by having 3 meals a day and no snacks, we saw they had about 1.2 pounds of weight loss per week. Their anxiety was better, their cravings were better, their fatigue was less, their energy after work was more, their sleep was better. All these things happened because we got them off of eating a meal and a snack and a meal and a snack and a meal and a snack, overshooting the fuel calorie runway. And that's what we did in that study. So I wrote an ebook based on that science, which was really the Ayurvedic calorie restriction, intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating plan, which is a very Ayurvedic concept. There's an old saying in Ayurveda that says 1 meal a day is for a yogi, 2 meals a day is for a bogi, a worker class person who's labor, who needs more food. 3 meals a day is for a rogi, who's a person who's sick, mostly dead, in a hospital. So they don't even have a name for 4, 5, and 6 meal a day people because most people, you're mostly dead at 3 meals a day, right? So that was the Ayurvedic concept, was to basically eat, much less food and have some form of calorie restriction. And in the springtime, 'tis the season to make that happen. There's just no doubt about that. So this is the time of year to make that happen. So what are some of the options? Well, in the ebook that you can download for free, called the Weight Balancing ebook, there's guidelines and worksheets and stuff to sort of guide you through a really effective weight loss plan. And here's step 1. 3 meals a day, no snacks. Enjoy, relax, eat your food. Make your biggest meal of the day lunch, but relax and take time. No snacks. Step 2, if that works out okay, do step 2, which is make supper smaller. Supper comes from the word soup or salad. So make your supper a little bit smaller, like a soup or a salad. And if that works out okay and you're fine, try to make your supper a little bit earlier, like before 6 o'clock. So now you're having, what we call our first sort of time-restricted eating plan. So from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock for breakfast, you got 13 hours of your day not eating your food. And that's one of the classic Vedic Ayurvedic principles, and that's aligned with Dr. Walter Longo's longevity diet research, where he actually found that that's the ideal, kind of time-restricted eating plan for the best results. Clearly in the springtime you can do more because there were periods of famine during the spring where there just wasn't much to eat. All your fall harvest reserves were gone, and there may be even days where you don't get to eat anything. So you could potentially amp that up a little bit. And what we did at the last step of our weight balancing plan was to basically have lunch and then skip supper, and then have a breakfast and a lunch and have 2 meals a day and fast from lunch all the way till breakfast the next morning. And that amps up your time restricted eating. It amps up your ability where the only fuel you're going to really get is going to be the fat that's stored in your fat cells, and you reset the ability to burn that fat. Great opportunity to get stable energy, which is fat, detoxify fat soluble toxins that may have accumulated and stored in your fat, and thirdly, release old molecules of emotion, which Ayurveda says are stored in the fat, as what's called mental ama. So it's an emotional flush, a toxic flush, and a reset of long-lasting endurance stability. And we want to do that in the beginning of spring, in nature's new year, so we can really get the body to be burning fat for long-lasting energy as we go into the long days in the short nights of summer, right? Really simple. So download the weight balancing ebook, super easy. Another way to make sure you get the benefits of weight loss and not weight gain in the spring is clearly to eat seasonal food. And you can all download my free Kapha spring grocery list, and just take that grocery list, circle the foods on that you like, and give yourself permission to eat more of the foods that are in season and make it happen that way. That's another way to do it. You want to amp that up a little bit, download our free 3-season diet challenge, free monthly seasonal eating guide where you get grocery lists and recipes and superfoods for every single month of the year. You can download that and get that in your inbox first Saturday of every month. And we kind of help guide you through a reminder that, hey, these are what's in season in March and in April and May and June. And in April, coming here very soon, you get all the flowers that are edible, and we have our flower plan that goes all the way to the end of summer. Every month, new flowers, what they do, what you can eat. It's kind of fun as well. So that's a couple other things to do. And then of course, this is the season to think about cleansing or detoxifying. We have our 4-day short home cleanse ebook, which is also free. You just download that on my ebook section of my website and do a 4-day ghee and khichdi digestive fat burning reset and cleanse, which is really great. Then we have sort of our big cleanse in the spring, which is the Colorado cleanse, which is a 14-day digestive reset, limb cleanse, liver cleanse, and detox as well. So you can go on my website at LifeSpa.com and look and get all that information for free. But just remember that the springtime isn't just automatic weight loss. It can be weight gain if we don't do it just right and follow the rules. And maybe that's exactly why the Nobel Prize was won in circadian medicine last year, was because the importance of us understanding that as the seasons shift, so must we. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I'll see you next week. I'm Dr. John Douillard. Do you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe and share.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at LifeSpa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.